All right, let's get right into it. If you're a designer right now, there's one huge question on your mind. How do I build a portfolio that actually gets me hired, especially now in 2026, with AI changing everything? We're going to break down the blueprint.
10 seconds. Yep, that's it. That is literally the entire window you have to grab a recruiter's attention. I know, it sounds brutal, and honestly, it is.
I mean, think about it. Hiring managers are just drowning in applications. I saw one designer post that they sent out 600 applications just to land 2 offers. That's the reality. So the pressure is just insane. And your portfolio, that's your first and probably your only shot to stand out. So what on earth is happening in those 10 seconds? Well, let's break it down. In the first 3 seconds, they're just scanning your title, looking at your main visual. That's it. Then from second 3 to second 10, they're on a mission. They're hunting for one thing and one thing only: metrics and outcomes. Measurable results. If they don't see that impact right away, you're gone. But if you pass that test, congrats. You've made it into the maybe pile. And that earns you maybe 2 more minutes of their time. Okay, so how do you survive that brutal 10-second scan? How do you prove your value fast? The answer is becoming really clear. You've got to show you're fluent in AI. It's not a suggestion anymore, it's the new mandate.
And look, this isn't some far-off future thing we're talking about. This is right now. A whopping 61% of design pros are already using AI tools. So if you're in that other 39%, you're falling behind. AI has officially moved from nice to have to a baseline expectation.
And it's pretty easy to see why, right? Just follow the money. The market for these AI-powered design tools is just exploding. We're talking a jump of over $1 billion in a single year. Companies are pouring cash into this tech, so you better believe they expect their designers to be experts at using it.
This is the most crucial point to understand. The game has totally changed. Because of AI, pretty much anyone can make a nice-looking image now. Aesthetics have been democratized. So a beautiful mock-up, it's just not enough anymore. Your portfolio has to prove you're more than a designer. It has to prove you're a strategic thinker who solves business problems. All right, so if that's the new reality, how do you actually build a portfolio that wins? In this next part of the video, we're going to get super practical. I'm going to show you the exact high-impact AI projects recruiters are desperate to see.
First on the list, conversational interfaces and chatbots. And let's be clear, I am not talking about some basic little pop-up that says, "How can I help you?" No way. Hiring managers today want to see that you can design truly sophisticated, intelligent, and useful chatbot experiences. So to really impress them, your case study has to show some serious depth. They're going to be asking, can you design conversations that actually remember context from one turn to the next? Did you create a consistent personality and tone? What happens when things go wrong? How does it handle errors? And, the big one, what was the result? You have to show the metrics. Did user satisfaction go up? Did you see higher task completion rates? That's the stuff they care about.
Okay, project number 2, recommendation system UX. This one is huge. Seriously, this might be one of the most valuable projects you can possibly have in your portfolio. Why? Because basically every major tech company you can think of, Meta, Google, you name it, their entire business model relies on these systems to drive engagement and, well, make money.
So a killer project in this area shows you can tackle the really tricky stuff. Like, how do you figure out what a user likes without bugging them with a million questions? How do you handle that cold start problem? You know, when a brand new user shows up and you know nothing about them. And, you guessed it, you have to tie it all back to business impact. Show me the numbers. Did you increase click-through rates? Did conversions go up? That's what they want to see.
And for our third project type, this is the one that really signals you're thinking at a senior level: ethical AI and responsible design. Showcasing a project like this tells them you're not just a builder who follows orders. It proves you're a strategic leader who actually gets the massive implications of this technology.
When you show how you've thought about things like detecting bias in an algorithm, or how you designed for data privacy, or made an AI's decisions more transparent, you're basically screaming to a hiring manager, "I am ready for real-world, high-stakes projects." It shows you get that we're building trust with users, not just shipping features.
Okay, so now you know what projects to build. Awesome. But that's only half the battle. Seriously, how you actually present these projects is what's going to make or break you in that 10-second scan. And the secret is simple: lead with results.
I see this all the time, and it's the biggest mistake you can make. Designers write their case studies like a diary. First, I did research. Then I made wireframes. Nobody has time for that. Scrap that approach. Instead, start with a powerful, impact-led hook. Something like, how I increased user engagement by 30% using a personalized AI feed. See the difference? It immediately grabs their attention and screams value.
Yeah, this quote here from UX Playbook just hits the nail on the head. Hiring managers don't want pixel pushers anymore. They want business problem solvers. Design just happens to be the tool you use to solve those problems. Your portfolio needs to reflect that mindset.
So here it is, a super simple structure for your case studies. Step 1, the hook. A bold headline with your absolute best metric. Step 2, the business context. What was the problem? What was at stake? Step 3, your approach. What were your key decisions, especially around AI? And finally, step 4, the results. Hit them again with that quantified business impact. This structure is literally built to win that 10-second test.
All right, for this last section, I want to talk about something that's a genuine career multiplier. Because let's be real, in 2026, a great portfolio isn't just some static website you build once and then hope someone stumbles across. The game has moved on.
The modern way to think about it is what's called a distributed portfolio. And all that means is you're creating a presence and sharing your work on all the platforms where recruiters and hiring managers already hang out. You stop waiting to be discovered and you start engineering your own discovery.
So, what does that look like in practice? It means you're sharing little micro case studies on LinkedIn. You're writing smart, insightful threads on X. Maybe you're doing deep dives on Medium or Substack about the challenges of AI design. You could even host interactive demos on GitHub or contribute to Figma communities. You're building your reputation out in the open, and you're creating all these different pathways for opportunities to find you.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole video? Your competitive edge in 2026 really boils down to 4 key things. First, speed, getting your work out there quickly. Second, business fluency, speaking the language of ROI. Third, true AI literacy, understanding the why, not just the tools. And fourth, adaptability, proving you can learn new tech fast.
And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Stop looking at your portfolio as just a gallery of your pretty designs. Instead, ask yourself this: is my portfolio undeniable proof that I can solve real, expensive business problems? Because in today's market, that's the only question that truly matters. Thanks for watching.